936. 936. That is where we left it off. Actually, I wasn't going to start my video here. But because the number plate 634, so again the 6 and the 3 there, the 6 and the 3 on the number plate, and this number plate is 55. I wasn't going to start my video here, but because already the numbers are already beginning to manifest, I'm going to start my video here. I was going to wait a bit. So again, the repeat, 936, particularly the 3 for me. The 3 for me seems to be sticking out. Because I wasn't intending to start here, my spirit is not on yet. That's why I was waiting. I was gonna wait until I get to the place where I'm supposed to be to start this video, but Sela Parezo Darea. We are just gonna wing it. We are just going to wing it. This is where we were yesterday, the gateway. This gateway, again, once you get past, again, the black car in the distance, once you get past these two pillars, this one, my hand is weak when I try to point the one on the left, actually. There's two birds here. So two birds. We saw the two spirits yesterday, and I think that's why the 55 is significant, because it's 5 and 5, it's double, it's dual. So now there's a second car that is going there. Let me just see. 8877. Okay, the one bird has now gone into the bushes. Okay. Isuzu 4x4. Is there anything else that can stick out here? 1, 2, 3, 5 and 9. And then a third car. So there is something going on here. As you can see, a lot of activity from one place. 3 cars, so it's 3. So 1, 2, 3. 3 cars going into the same place. So again, the 3 is going to stick out. And the one coming out, Kemava Soprade. And that is my cue to leave here. But 3. 3, 3, 3, 3. We're going to start there. 3. Yeah, I was about to try to explain what this all means, but I don't think it's necessary. We'll see where it goes. We will see where it goes. We will see where it goes. This, by the way, I got my scarf on, but my scarf is really my battle armor for me. With this scarf, I have been in a lot of Ozara. We will see again. All of this is we will see. I don't have a plan for today, so I'm just following the spirit, where it's gonna take me. Following the spirit. Following the spirit. Which means there are no words deposited in my heart yet. Which means at this moment in time, I have nothing to say. Nothing to say. Say, try, quebrai, as compradi, I'll explain just now. But the last time I was here, you will remember that I went into these bushes here, and when I came out, there was a man standing behind me in the distance. Something about this broken glass, so let me just carry it until I get a revelation what it stands for. So today, similar spot is a man who this time he has got a weapon. In the nature, it's not a weapon, it is just he is cutting the overgrowth here. But the fact that same spot, wearing a red cap, but this time he has got something in his hand. So likewise, and I think that's why I was prompted to pick up the glass, to pick up something in your hand, which means the first man had nothing in his hand. This one has got some kind of a, I don't know what that machine is called. It's not a chainsaw, it's not I think it might be a weed cutter, maybe, called a weed cutter, but something electric. And yesterday, one of the spirits revealed to me that my death was coming. One was the waters, so we followed the waters, and I believe the waters would have something to do with the clouds. And then I also saw the electric boxes, or the transformer boxes, which was electricity. And when I combined the two, I said water and electricity don't mix well. I'm not necessarily saying that this particular sin is the result of that word, but that which is used in the machine is electrical. And again, the waters for me would represent the sky and the cloud. And if you actually look at it, that does look like water in the sky. Obviously, we know when it rains, the water does come from the sky, but the water itself, it looks like an ocean, does it not? That looks like an ocean to me, now that I am here. Water in the sky. The water yesterday was in the ground. So let me sombravero this. It is just a piece of rope. But when I moved past it, my spirit leaped and said, serpents or snakes. Serpents or snakes. Serpents or snakes. So how I sembra vehera, in the direction I'm supposed to go in towards, there is a man already on a quad. My thoughts are very slow today. There's a man on a quad bike, and that's the direction I was supposed to go to get the place I'm supposed to be at. So now I have to decide whether to go straight, whether to go left, or whether to go down, or whether to just stand here while I wait for these people to maneuver. What this means is the last time I got to a place and a man appeared behind me. This time I get to the place and there are already people moving, which means one, it could be a trap, or two, they sensed or realized or saw that this is the direction I'm going, which means people are now being activated ahead of time, which is a dangerous word for me if that's the case, because they can set traps for me spiritually that I'd fall into. And what would those traps represent, or how would they manifest? I would get hurt somehow. I would trip on something, I would bump my knee and get hurt. Because I walk around a lot to face or encounter these spirits, the likeliest target without my death, because they won't be allowed to access my death yet, even though they are trying. They will try to hurt my mobility, and so my knee, I can see my knee, and I think that's why there's a video I released now about prayers for someone's knee that got injured. So they would come after, okay, God says just follow. So we're gonna go nevertheless. Sampaireneshke vor andre keroya. Saintrai erkosa. This tree was never here before. I walked this path before, but this tree was never like this, which means it fell at some point. So now imagine the day that this tree fell and you were there. On that day, you'd have gotten hurt. Like I would have gotten hurt if I was on the day, if I was Sabari Dengo, Sar Kevandre Keroya, that could have been a death, a possible death. That is how we actually avoid death, mind you. There are things that are planned ahead of time for you that God prevents them from harming you. Just as again, this tree, I could have been here on the day. Saranambra day. Now there's someone, again, Savora, Persa Tringo Breheso. So things have been triggered ahead of time. And the Lord is saying it's not just here. I happen to be here and noticing the ones here, but if I'd gone in any other direction, I would be facing similar opposition. So, Pareya Redoza, the choice then would be to either stay home or know that the enemy is ahead of you, but you go nevertheless. So what I'm doing is I'm going nevertheless. I am going nevertheless. We march forward. The guy that was following me from behind was the same guy that was cutting, it's a bit muddy here, cutting the grass with the machine. So again, him just leaving his machine to move towards my direction could be coincidental, or it could be, as I suspect, that he was activated by my presence and he came or moved butterflies, quite colorful. I don't believe in coincidences. Particularly as a prophet, it's impossible for me to believe or see coincidences. No such thing. No such thing. No such thing. So again, you might be thinking that I'm just making these things up in my mind as I go, coming to the conclusions that I want to get to, which to a certain extent it is the case. I am concluding relative to my understanding of things, but just because I come to a conclusion that your mind hasn't been able to conceive as yet doesn't mean that I am wrong. There goes the guy on the quad bike, the security here. So again, security is being used as a means to watch and observe more than to just protect. To watch and to observe. I feel strange now. And there's a guy. So the guy that was following me is moving back up. The security guard is now moving towards him in the same direction. You won't see them because they're small. And then there's a guy that is running on that side. There was a third man. I saw him, a natural man this time, and he was moving this way. The guard has stopped now, again, because of my presence here, so he's also reacting. That mountain there is where we were the other day. Samero do Hobra. But we carry on. We haven't even begun the word yet, but I am just, again, observing. And there's someone on the wall on this side in a red shirt by a red house. In a red shirt by a red house. Again, this could all be coincidences. Which, if you are one of those persons that believe in coincidences, then that's fine. Observe the coincidences, if you will. So the red-ish house looks a bit orange, but there's a tint of red about it. And a man standing by the wall wearing a red shirt. So that makes him 4, which is where we left it off yesterday, that they were gathering in 4s. how the enemy comes after you is he brings one. He's a game of chess. He plays a game of chess with you. He sends one. One. And if that one doesn't succeed, he sends two. When they don't succeed, he sends three. So at last, the last place was three. Just as this tree branches off, at least the main parts branch off into three. So the one, the two, and the three. And then from there, he branches off into four. So if you can see in this distance here, there's four of these palm-like trees. So the one, the two, the three, and the fourth. So again, yes, there are other combinations. I think there might be, how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a question of why do you avoid the other signs and focus on the ones that are relative to the word that you're currently releasing, and that's because those ones are the ones that are relevant. Yes, there are other signs out here, and if I came here on any other day, those signs would appear to me. But they are not relevant to the path I'm currently on right now. And that also speaks to people and their destinies. My spirit is shaking for some reason. There's something inside of me that's shaking now. There's a person there in the distance. You probably won't see her. Let me point. She's wearing yellow. Yellow. So Barbe Nartera, 4 separate pieces of items here. The 2 circles and the 2 items of clothing. So the 2 and the 2. So that is 4. Again, it is just items on the ground, but speaking to the word I am currently carrying, that represent me being on a particular path for today. There's many words and many places I could be today, many paths I could have taken, many things I could be preaching about, but for today, for this day, this is the word. For this day, this is the word. And it is a carry on from yesterday. Again, we last have left it off at 4. If you remember, at the corner, after the funeral parlor or the gravesite, the ladies were gathered in 4 and the Audi had 2 and 2 on it, which was the 4. So to me, it makes sense. To some of you, perhaps I am reaching. And to some extent, I am reaching. And I feel like I'm reaching until it concludes. So when it concludes, it all makes sense. Which is what happens with God's visions. In the beginning, you won't know. May stanza, I've just turned around. Cambro, Centri, said, there's a spirit here. Spider webs. And children here now. There is... Okay, let me go back. I was starting to walk into something scary. Something scary. So I'm just moving back now, gathering myself. That's why I got into the... I can't even explain it. Okay. Woo! Let me collect myself, gather myself. Ramroy Embrodera. I might have to do this backwards again. Remember when I walked backwards? Yeah, because if I go directly, Merage Frondar Tezar Kebora. Yeah, let me do this backwards. Mezan Rai Korai. Shenzo Merede Vradi Groy. Oof. Feel arrows being cast at me. That's why I'm moving backwards, because my back can withstand this a little bit more. The spirit ahead of me is much more emotional. I'm a very emotional man. 18 up there, which means gateway. 19 I'm not sure yet, but that is Sabara. Let me carry on. I may make it look light, but this is actually quite heavy, what I'm doing right now. Okay, now I'm being pushed towards my left by the Spirit. The Spirit is very powerful here. So, Armehero Nevara. Nevara, Nevara. Nevara, Nevara. That word Nevara, I've heard it before. And I believe it has something to do with India, if I'm not mistaken, Nevara. And might also come with the word Nissan, because Nissan has a Nevara. That word, which means they are chanting that word in the spirit, Nevara. It is a spirit. There's someone here. In the physical, there's no one, but there's someone in this house, the first one here. Mesara. On that side, there's someone there. His presence is there physically. But there's also a presence here spiritually. I detected them both. But when I looked on that side, detecting it, he appeared. So he's there physically, which means there is someone there. But they are just invisible. Let's just call them invisible for now. Sabora. Neshkar Beronda Vereya. Heishknar Kavwa. Woo! I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. So here's the electric box, so the electricity again. And another one this side, so I assume these would represent the gateways here, the power and danger written on them. The water I will find soon. Ora Mora, and at that corner is someone in a red shirt just sitting there. So red again. They are just sitting. But in essence, they were placed there in anticipation. Someone there. Nothing significant as much except with the combination of the green curtain there and her bending. If you remember the gateway that we spoke about earlier, there was a person, a man yesterday who was in green, so the green curtain, and then who was bending, which is what she's doing. Again, the reason why I noticed it yesterday is so that when it happens today, I can make the link that something, Erabre Ero Pernahara is happening. 4, 5, 6 again on that number plate. That number did appear yesterday also. 4, the 5, and the 6. Okay, I was gonna point the camera in that direction, but I won't be able to go there. Marde Embrodia. My back is, it feels like it's itchy, but it's actually sore because of those arrows that were being thrown at it. But Nevara, please search what Nevara means for me. It is something to do with India, and it's probably the reason why, and Namaste. Nevara and Namaste is probably the reason why I posted that video yesterday. It was a setup for today's place. So again, everything that God does, He does it for a purpose. He does it for a purpose. So again, the person in red has now gotten up and is moving in that direction. She's wearing red. And if you can read the name of this place, it's called Maracana. I'll get closer to it just now. So the red, and there's 2 white cars moving around. So those 3. So she's moving in 3s, this person. So that was the first of the hurdles. Maracana. This word in South Africa is synonymous, and there's a red shade here. There's the waters, because there's a water pole, and there's also water poles here, so I will show them to you now. Water is the gateway. So the first gate we went past was the 2 electric gates. Maracana, I will explain that just now. The second gate we're about to pass is a water pipe this side, which is blue and red, and it's got the two blues on the side, which is then 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm probably reaching, but we'll see where it goes. And then the red. This, I believe, is supposed to be a type of fire hydrant. I believe that is where firemen would connect. If there was a fire, they would connect there. But again, so now these two gateways, waters, the ones that you went past that size, the two electric boxes or transformers, which the electricity. So I have just gone past the fire. The one is supposed to represent fire. I've just heard in the spirit now, which is the electric box is the fire. And these two will be the waters. Marade Pronea, the spirit I was detecting is here within the clouds. That looks Ferai Kembroi Estar Mendora. It looks like something. I want Mardemo. There is a spirit here. There's a demon here. Let me not put just a spirit. There's a demon here. He's stuck between these two places here. He's here now. What is this thing? The lady with the crystals. Remember I spoke a word about the crystals? The lady with the crystals. If you were to look through your crystals to the spirit that is guiding you towards those crystals, this demon that is moving around here, you would see it's moving there now. I can sense how it moves. I may not necessarily see it. Sometimes I see the shadow, sometimes I just see it as a whole spirit in my spirit. My eyes don't see anything. My eyes see the way that you see, which is there's a tree, a shadow, and nothing else. But my spirit perceives how it is moving. So your spirit perceives. Your spirit perceives. You need to use your spiritual eyes. How did I get there? Yes, so the lady with the crystals. You'll find yourself that once you look inside and through those crystals, there is a spirit that is guiding you towards that practice of yours. There is a spirit that is leading you towards that practice, and it's demonic. It is demonic. So please throw away your crystals, throw away your candles, and for some reasoning I'm seeing a skull in the spirit. If you have a skull, along with all these practices, then already you know that you're ministering death to yourself. I can't imagine why you wouldn't perceive that, but I think perhaps you might have been blinded by whatever spirit it is that you have Fentroy Ebradia gotten yourself into. Sebroi Enclai Rebero Sevro. Arene Brankai Jeprodeza Pranteo. Alright, so that's the gateway we needed to get past. The water and the fire, or the water and the electricity. Double wall socket. So this, I just picked up along on the path. It is again warning, it is the lightning. It is a wall socket, so that's the electricity. And again, you have that electricity combined with waters. I'm sure there's waters here somewhere. That's an electrocution. So God is getting me past my death, which is the death they spoke about yesterday. God is saying, though they have prepared, and this would represent the water. Again, the waters, God says the waters have been warned are from beneath. So if you open this up, that would be the sewers. So the electricity and the water, which means somewhere here would be my death, or represents the death that they were preparing for me. Where, I don't know, but the Spirit knows. So again, those could all be coincidence, but the fact that God spoke these words yesterday and there are signs today indicating that it's good enough for me. It might not be good enough for some of you, but for me, that is good enough. That's how I've survived this long. That's how I have learned to just trust my intuition, trust my instincts, and that is what God wants me to see, wants me to hear. And the person who would be fighting this word will be someone who might be thinking that God, A, doesn't exist, or if he exists, doesn't speak to them. And so if you feel like God doesn't speak to you, then anything that I express that is an indication of his existence or him speaking would be contrary to yourself. So now I'm moving more and more towards the electricity at a larger level, because that's the whole, was the butterfly. And there's something about this white wall here that doesn't belong. But that is, I forget what this place is called, but when you get closer I might remember the name. And there's a white bus in the distance. This white wall, when I say there's something not right about it, a white bus, Sambera, and I say that girl, there were 2 white cars moving around her, which means just by me noticing that sign, they are gathering again. And the wind here has begun to move, which means this wind is contrary to my spirit. This wind that is currently moving, it wasn't moving like this. As soon as I got here, that is when this wind began to move. I can feel my wife in the spirit again, her presence. She's around. So maybe soon, I hope God wakes her up soon, because this is a lot to deal with. So she has to be very wise. Very wise. They come bravar camaro. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here for a moment. There are 3 spirits around me. There's one ahead of me, that's why the triangle. There's one ahead of me, there's one on my left, and there's one on my right. So as soon as I take another step, these spirits are going to engulf me. There's 3 birds flying in that direction now. So again, the triangle, Sabrone, and there's 2 that moved in this direction, which would be the 5. So which means we're now moving, so there are 3, Re Sobraneo, and they are joined by another 2 that I can see on that side, which is 5 and so Zabrane, and we are 3 and 2, 32 minutes into this video, so 5. They're still surrounding me. Initially I was just gonna walk into them and let them do as they wish, but for now I'm just gonna wait here and stand here in their presence, letting them know that I can see them and I know they're about to jump me. If this was in the natural, I would be jumped by now. And you know when people jump you, it means they rob you. It means they're coming to take your possession. So physically, if this played out in the physical, I would be jumped or robbed if this was a physical manifestation. But right now they are in the spirit. It's the same feeling, whether it happens in the physical or in the spiritual. It is the same feeling. It is the same feeling. So these spirits would rough me up. Actually, I can see it in the spirit now. If I was high, I would, like on weed. Yeah, I've smoked weed before. That's why I know what being high feels like. This is the same high. If I was in the spirit and I was high right now, you know that high that incapacitates you, where you can't move, but you can sense? If I was in that spirit right now, these spirits would be having a field day with me, and I wouldn't be able to, I would be going insane, because they would be giving me visions and I would be tripping, in essence. That's what a trip is. These spirits would make my mind trip, and they will be showing me things. And obviously, you know, if something is happening in your mind, just like when you're in a dream state, when something is happening to you in your mind, it's happening to you. Pet, it is happening to you. So I was gonna just walk through these spirits and let them have their way and hope and pray that I get out. But for now, the Lord says, wait for them to dissipate. They're getting very aggressive. Again, I'm just standing here. And the fact that I'm just standing still automatically should tell you that something is going on. Because by nature, men should only be still when they are asleep. The rest of the time, they are moving. So when I'm standing still like this, just know that something is moving. It's just harder to perceive. So I'm waiting for a sign to say that I can move. Sambradeya. There's 2 pigeons there. That is a good enough sign for me. Why? It just is. Arembre de vera, which means that because when those 2 spirits, when they were moving, everything around me was still. There was nothing else moving, which means the spirits were manifesting and everything earthly was almost possessed down. There is a truck in the distance that says fire, wildfire. It's just moved past now. My camera is not that good. So it says wildfire. So now if you can see, I am in dry places. The brushes around me are dry. So if this place was on fire right now, again, if I was here on the wrong day at the wrong time, or if you can hear the word I'm hearing in the spirit, the lightning, because God was attuning or comparing the lightning to a fire. Remember I said that before God, so if the lightning struck here, do you see now that I would be in a place or a state of emergency? I would need, that is a ambulance service. So again, all of these words are combining here together. That's how God speaks to me. As usual, that's how he speaks. So if there was a lightning that would strike, there would be a fire, and if there's a fire, I would be burnt. So again, if I was here on the wrong day, at the wrong time, likewise with these spirits that were trying to attack me, if I was here at the wrong place at the wrong time, and there were men around here, and these spirits filled those men with those intents that I was sensing in the spirit, I would be in trouble. I would be in trouble. So this today is my walk into death, basically. I'm walking through the valley of death. So again, that truck had wildfire on it. So just imagine this place was on fire and you are walking through it. Just envisage that this place was on fire, and we can speak about California when those fires come up ever so often. Just imagine this place was on fire and you're walking in it. Because in the spirit, that's what is happening around me. In the spirit, that is what is happening around me. There is death around me. There is a stream of waters. And it felt like my phone was about to, and again, my phone slipped out of my hands. My phone slipped out of my hands twice. Which means there's something or somebody who is now trying to possess my body. Again, when you bump into things, when you slip, when you fall, or when you think you're about to fall, like now I felt like I was about to fall and my phone was about to slip out of my hands, it means there is a spirit present. So right now, there's a spirit that has just entered my body. It won't, Seraya. There's a spirit in my body. Let's just leave it like that for now. Something just moved or is moving in these brushes here. You can see these brushes there's something moving in it. So just as you can't see, but you can see every now and then the leaves are moving. So there's something moving inside of it, but you cannot see it. But there are telltale signs that something is there. So that's what I'm sensing. There's something moving inside of me. Now it's by my neck here. I feel like I'm stressed out. You know stress. You know those stress balls that you get from work or from life. I can feel stress on me now. So it is straining my body. So any of you who are stressed out or who are who are pressed down and overwhelmed, you need to know that there is a spirit. Like this spirit is overwhelming me now. I was not like this up until this spirit began to move. There is knots and my neck is getting tense, very tense. That is a spirit. That is a spirit. If you feel those things on you, because stress brings fatigue, Fatigue makes you do strange and foolish things. Oh, God. Fatigue makes you do strange and foolish things, whether it is alcohol, whether it is drugs, whether it is sex. Trying to find ways to escape this fatigue, this stress, that's how or why certain disorders start to come upon you as well, such as depression. Those are all demonic. This spirit, for instance, the one that just came on me now, is the spirit that would be causing those kind of responses, whether it is depression or suicide or, so again, death. It is death. The spirit itself is death. So, the last video that, these are condoms. Probably shouldn't be showing you this. But the Asian, Dr. Long. So actually, no, I should be showing you this because I just spoke about sex now. The green. Successfully used by millions worldwide. So I spoke about sex as an escape. And I also posted a video prior to this one on yoga. So again, this is a representation of me being at the right place at the right time, because we spoke about the yoga, which was India, which is where we just came from. If you remember the spirit, the namaste, the Nirvana. And I also spoke in the video about Tai Chi. And this happens to be an Asian man, Dr. Long, which again I say that is where the Tai Chi, the Chinese. So again, right place, right time. So the video I posted earlier today was setting me up for this. I didn't plan any of this, but God knew. All I did was follow instructions. God says, speak about yoga. I spoke about yoga. Yesterday I posted a video about India. Today I walk in the spirit and I find a Nirvana spirit, which is an Indian goddess, which is what the video that I posted yesterday, you can watch it, it's uploaded. I can set it up. I feel like I'm a magician now. This to me is magic. Doesn't this feel like magic to you? But God's magic. Okay, so butterfly. This is magic. This is actually how I got inducted into the Illuminati the first time. They sensed this spirit about me. There's a man called Penn from the magic show Penn and Teller. The bigger guy, I believe his name is Penn. He is actually, there was a dream where he was looking at me. And we know he's a magician. But we know him that the magic that he produces to be tricks, because he exposes people who do the tricks. But he is an actual magician. So many people have said and expressed that magicians, true magicians, hide their magic through tricks. But many a time, on occasion, every now and then, one or two of them are using actual magic. They are not tricks. Which is what he is, the Penn guy. He is a magician, and he was the first person that inducted me into, he is in the Illuminati himself. So he understood that there's something in me similar to that, which is the magic. But he wanted to use it similar to how he uses it, which is to manipulate. There's a truck with fire. It's a red bed on it. It's got a red bed. The truck bed is red, and there's fire, flames on by the door. So again, similar to the truck that I saw earlier moving in the opposite direction, this one is moving in this direction, which speaks again of fire, which means fire, 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 fire. There's something moving. Fire. So I've stopped. There's a spirit here, but it's lower this time. So the first three were surrounding me. This one is here. If you can see my hand right now, Savara Mandroa, Rea Redo Zeprania, the spirit has taken over. So I'm trying to figure out what it wants me to do. So again, emergency services. So the first fires that we spoke about, ambulance went past. The second fire we're speaking about again. After the truck, an ambulance goes past. So now I'm moving forward. These are not coincidences, and that is why these people see me as a magician. They see the spirits inside of me, which is what Jesus was doing as well. He was in essence a magician. This guy walked on water, spoke to the winds, healed people just by touch, prophesied, saw people's hearts. That is magic in essence. And that is what we, sons of God, daughters of God, are. We are gods. But because there is no word for it, the next best option is we are magicians. We are magicians, but the essence of it is that we are gods. We are the nature of God. We are gods because we have the nature of God. So again, two gateways. There's a man on this side. He's wearing a yellow cap and his bag is red. So the yellow and the red, he's a combination of both the yellow and the red. And those represent to me fire. Red and yellow flames, that is fire. So there is fire that is coming for me. There is fire that is coming for me. The guy on the other side who is wearing a blue and green jacket, that would be the waters. So there's also waters coming after me, which is fine. Which is fine. I'm in the spirit now. So forgive my absenteeism. But I am in the spirit. There's a truck that is coming from a distance. In my direction, it is a yellow truck. Let's see what it says when it gets closer. But it is red and yellow. DHL. So if the guy in the red and the white isn't good enough, and you ignore that sign, there's a whole truck which is red and yellow. You can't ignore God. I have come this far based on that conclusion. You cannot ignore God. You cannot ignore God. The signs are too much. There are too many. So today is all about magic. I am in essence a magician because these things that I'm sensing and seeing is magic. This is magic to me. This is magical. For me, that is magical. But anyway, so I have come here to it's called a substation. It's written there. So this is a substation. So this is electricity. Somewhere on this side is a dam, and somewhere there in between is a yellow house. A yellow house. So I believe that is where I need to go today, towards the yellow. But I need to get into the spirit. And here's another yellow truck moving in the opposite direction. And that one says emergency services. So, Selah, that is God speaking. Yellow truck, yellow sign here, and it's got a 4 on it. I'm too, yeah. And the yellow house in the distance, so I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna end this video. That's enough for today. Let us move. Be blessed.